party. Welcome to a Dreamer's Experience where we let the next generation's voice be heard and we help build a stable identity in an unstable world. We're on episode 4. I'm excited to bring Jaelon back. I liked him so much, I guess I had to bring him back, clearly. But how you doing, man?
Good, great to be back. Feels good to be back.
Yeah, man, I haven't seen you in a little bit. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's cool. Just been quarantining. Yeah, really, that's it. Quarantining, that's it.
Basically, even if you don't want to, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So, an icebreaker for you. Just real quick. I just wanted to know, what is your favorite breakfast meal?
A breakfast sandwich, actually.
Breakfast sandwich?
Yeah, just because like the one from Food for Less. Just
Food for what?
I don't mean to be specific, but I'm just saying.
Food for Less?
Yeah.
They have bomb. I've never heard anyone
it's
say
the croissant one with the egg, cheese, and meat. Because it's sausage.
Food for less.
Yes.
I don't know.
Because it's easy. Because it's like 2 minutes. I could just.
So it's the frozen. It's like
yes, the frozen one.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Because I used to go to, if I go to school, like, it'll be easy. I could just make that when I'm doing my stuff, to grab it, leave.
And that's your favorite. Like, of all the things. All right.
Because it's good and it's quick and it's easy. Yeah.
All right. Hey. I'm not here to judge. All right. I mean, mine's is French toast, like a normal person, but you know, hey, whatever makes you happy, man. Whatever makes you happy. So, I'm sorry, you throw me off with that sandwich, man. But anyways, yeah. So obviously, right, with this whole virus thing going on, obviously it's now like, I don't even know if it's under control, but now things are opening up, things are slowly getting back to normal and things of that nature, right? So like, did you when it first started, when this whole thing like started, like this whole year's been crazy, obviously. And so when this first thing happened, when they're like, hey, you know, we're shutting everything down, everyone's quarantined, and like basically like you said, even if you don't want to be quarantined, like things are still not all the way open up, so it's like you're still quarantined, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like with that, like did you ever, I guess, were you almost like at a low point? Like I knew some people that were like dealing with like depression because of it, you know what I mean? Like and even having like bad anxiety because of like everything that was going on with this year. So like I was wondering, like did you ever even feel like that, or like were you just more so just tripping out of the whole situation?
Yeah, at a certain point, like in the beginning, I was like a little kind of depressed because I knew I wasn't able to see my friends, family, of course. And because when this first happened, I remember when it first happened, like when I don't know if we were officially on quarantine as a state, but we were on quarantine at my household. So when it first happened, I remember the day I was trying to go play basketball, actually, and my mom was like, no, you can't because of the virus.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you love basketball, so
yeah. So and I wasn't able to play, so that's yeah, I would say in the beginning, I was getting a little depressed, down, like can't play basketball, I can't hang out with my friends, can't do this, can't do that, and different things, like just normal everyday life, like just because plus it's summertime now. A few months ago I had plans to do certain things, but I can't because of the quarantine. Yeah. And so it's like, and I'm not now, but in the beginning I could say, I was falling into a little depression. Gotcha. But I didn't really notice it until, I guess now. Like looking back at it, like, I was. Because I would just be by myself. Yeah. Like, just in my room or something.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. And like you said, you didn't even know, it kind of creeped up on you. So I want to ask you then, like, for those like that might not even really know, or they think they know but they're not sure. Like, to you, what do you think like depression? What do you think depression, anxiety like consists of? What is it? I guess it's a 2-part question. So I'll start with depression. What do you feel like depression, like if you had to sum it up like in a sentence or something like that, what would you?
Depression to me, I would say, is like a combination of sadness and anger combined into one, but more so sadness because you're down. because you're down. And it could be not even just about you, just certain family members. You're like, man, I'm depressed about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm depressed about not seeing them, this, that, certain situations. And anxiety, to me, is like a form of maybe like nervousness or something, because it's like you're out of the norm, and you're like, maybe like if you're, I don't really know actually, anxiety. So I've never really went through an anxiety, but I've heard of like people having anxiety attacks and different things like that. So I don't, because I've never felt an anxiety attack, so I don't know like the feeling inside, like, so like I wouldn't be able to like to really explain it. Yeah. But to me, I don't think it would be like you're overwhelmed, like you're at a point where you're overwhelmed and you can't control it. Basically, like you're just so overwhelmed you don't know how to handle it.
I like that. So for me, I feel depression is when you're trapped. Actually, me and my boy Jason. Shout out to Jason Henry. We used to talk about this one time, but to me, depression is when you're trapped in the past, right? Like that's the best way I could put it, right? Yeah. Because you're focused on, like you said, you were sad that you couldn't play basketball, right? So you're upset because you're thinking about your past experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so you're in that time frame. You know what I mean? Like where you're dwelling on the past. You know what I mean? So you break up with someone or whatever, and you're still sad about it. Right, because you're thinking about the past. Yeah. So you're depressed about it. You know what I mean? And for me, anxiety is when you're worried about what the future brings. Basically, so like you're worried about something that hasn't even happened. Right. So that's where anxiety happens. That's where like I remember one time I did like a song actually in my church, and like. I did it, but I was nervous. I was freaking out. Afterwards, I was really like panicking. Like I felt myself, and it was more so because I felt like I did a terrible job. I felt like people was thinking I was just terrible, but that never even occurred. That never happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what happened. So that's why some people during this whole coronavirus thing happened. People start having anxiety attacks because they're worried about things that hasn't even occurred, right? Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I'll never be able to go out again. What's gonna happen? How will I work? You know what I mean? So they're overthinking of the future that hasn't even happened. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And it's normal, really, because everybody really thinks about the future. Like everybody thinks about the future at one point. Like even today, like what am I gonna eat for dinner? Like different things like that. So it's it's something everybody either went through, is going through as of right now because of where we're going through, or will go through in the future.
Oh yeah, I mean, 2020 could be the year of anxiety. You know what I mean, honestly. So with that being said, like, do you think anxiety and depression? Do you think it affects everybody, or do you think it only affects certain people? And then also, I think you talked about it a little bit, but is that something you have dealt with, like, and what did that look like for you, I guess?
Anxiety and depression, I think everybody goes through it, but it's just a different way, a different form, like, people have different outlets of how to control their anxiety or depression. Like, if somebody is a musician and they have anxiety or depression, they put that into their music and they don't feel it as much because they're putting everything that they feel into their music. Or if they do sports, they put everything, they go out and put everything on the court or the field or the whatever sport you play. So it's like, it's just like that. And then you said the second question was what?
Is this something you've dealt with? And if so, like, what did that look like for you?
Depression or anxiety?
Either one. I know you say anxiety you wasn't sure about, but I guess depression.
I've never been through an anxiety before, but I do know people who have been through an anxiety and have had anxiety attacks and need like certain pills to control their anxiety. But depression, I say I've been through depression before, like different stages. Like it's because there's different levels of depression. Like depression of like depression now, like of not being able to see people, not being able to go out, do things, or depression of a family member passed away. Like, so I've been through depression before, like family members that passed on, like you think about them a lot, and then you see yourself, like you start to notice yourself like constantly thinking about them. You get depressed, you're by yourself, just thinking about that one person. And then I've been through depression before.
Dealt with it before. So I wanted to actually ask you too, because you said like, oh, you know, people that play sports, they use that to help them with it, music, right? And that kind of helps them deal with it. But I would I guess give you some pushback as far as it might only like, what's the word I'm looking for? It basically, it only kind of hides it, only like gives them a relief for that moment, right? Because think about how many artists have taken their life, right? And they might even make music with it, but like they were still hurting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what that's,
you know,
the other thing I was talking about, like the different levels.
Yeah. So, you know, even in sports, right, where athletes, like I think Kevin Love and some other like athletes have like, yo, this is something I really battle with. This is something that's difficult for me. And I would say too, I guess, when the thing that's difficult to do, it sounds easy, but what's difficult to do to try to get yourself out of that funk, for anyone that's listening or watching, is like trying to stay in that moment, which is very hard. Like it sounds very easy, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when you're going through something.
When you're going through, exactly. When you're not sure, you know, if bills are going to be paid, or you're not sure if, depending on your household, right? You don't know how your mom's going to come home, how your dad's going to come home. You know what I mean? Like those are, I know some youth that I've spoken to are really in some terrible situations, living situations. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that can definitely take a toll on you, right? And like you said, I believe too, a lot of people deal with that. A lot of, not even just adults, but people in high school, middle school, even elementary, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to ask you, what do you feel about the perception about that men don't get depressed?
I don't think it's true, because I think men get depressed more than women, because just the certain things you got to go through. Coming up as I'm not saying women don't go through things, but coming up as a man, especially an African American man, just certain things you got to look out for, certain things you got to do, certain things you can't do because of course, society. So it's like so that can have you down too, like, dang, I can't do this, I can't go here because I might not come back home, or I might not do something, like I don't know how I'm gonna, like, if you're put in a certain situation, you don't know how you're gonna react, basically. And like, so I feel like men go through more depression than women.
I like that. I mean, I know for sure men don't express it as much, right?
Yeah, keep it bottled in.
Especially like you said, for the Black community, and I'm sure the Hispanic community too, the minorities for sure. Like, it's something where, you know, even growing up, like you're taught, you know, not to cry, you know, not to really express yourself. You know what I mean? Obviously, yes, to a certain extent, you don't cry over certain things, but whatever. If you're really hurting because something happened, you know, to you, that like whatever, you got bullied or something, and you're like 6 years old and you're really hurt, why is it that, you know, we're like, no, don't cry? You know what I mean? No, you're weak if you do that, right? Like that's the perception where, like, if you show any type of emotion, you're considered like less of a man, right? And like you said, that's difficult because obviously as a man you don't want to feel that way. You want to provide and things like that. And I'll be honest, like I used to like show my emotions more, and then as I got older, probably like high school, middle school, high school, I stopped showing as much emotion, you know what I mean? And I don't like showing emotion like that. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. I try to do better expressing myself, but like that's been a battle for me. And I think like what you said, because there's a lot of stuff that as men we deal with and we don't necessarily voice. You know what I mean? And so like you said, especially as a minority, we have things maybe we're dealing with at home, you know, or we're in school, and then society in itself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're Hispanic with a bald head, they're gonna look at you crazy.
Yeah, they already have a perception of you.
Yeah, perception. If you're black with a hoodie on, or dreads or braids or whatever, you know what I mean? They look at you a certain way. So yeah, that definitely could be difficult. What would you say to men that, or young men or men that have been battling with it, but they don't know how to, I guess, express, right? Because, like, for example, they might want to tell their dad, and their dad's like, I've heard it before, especially in the black community, you ain't depressed, boy, knock it off.
Yeah.
You like, what? Like, I'm telling you how I feel, and all you're doing is telling me, like, this is not a feeling you have.
Yeah, or like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? And then we bottle all that up, and then as we grow up, now we have anger issues, right? Or we think about taking our lives, you know what I mean? Or we start having like substance abuse, you know what I mean? Like now we are an alcoholic. Now we are on pills. Now we have to smoke literally every hour to just function. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've met people like that. Like, literally, they can't eat. They can't sleep without smoking beforehand because they're dealing with so much. And in everyone else's mind is like, well, you know, why are they, like, they're just clearly smoking too much. It's like, no, there's deeper things there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, what would you tell, I guess, a young man or a man that, a young man that is battling with that, like, what would you tell? Because, like you said, you feel like a lot of men deal with that, but obviously they don't share it. So, what would you tell them as an encouragement, I guess?
As an encouragement, I would tell them go to like the nearest person that they trust, like somebody who they trust the most. Probably not one of your parents. But not saying you don't trust them, but like somebody other than your parent, or somebody other than, like, where you can talk, where you guys have a mutual balance of power, if that makes sense, to where you're able to talk to this person, able to get advice from this person, able to, like, and the person has to be open-minded too. They have to, like, know certain things to say, because if you say certain things to certain people, they might take it different, and now all of a sudden they want to commit suicide or do something to somebody, or so it just has to be, you have to pick the right person who to talk to, and how to, because they have to know how to talk to you so you can get through your depression or anxiety or different things like that.
I like that. And obviously you're not saying, like, if your parents are open-minded and want to listen, obviously you can speak to them, right?
Yeah.
You're just saying, if obviously that you have the type of parents where a lot of us do, right, where they give that pushback, or they want to downplay how we feel on certain situations. And you actually said something that made me think too. Another reason I feel like men in general don't express, like, if they're depressed or they're dealing with anxiety, is because a lot of times people use that against them. You know what I mean? Like, now all of a sudden you're weak. Like, I want to use that against you to put you down, right? Like, we get in an argument and I want to throw that in your face. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then that makes you even more depressed and even more,
And you know, now, like, it's almost like and I've seen it where women have did it, where now the guy's feeling like less of a man because she wants to try to use that against them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what would you say about that? I guess someone that, you know, they want to express themselves, but every time they feel like someone has used it on them or against them.
To that, actually, I would say maybe just find someone that you really trust. Like, even if it's a pastor, because if it's a pastor, 99% of the time they're not gonna go out and tell your business, like, to the people, like, that come in the church. Like, it just depends on who you pick. Like, you have to, like I said, you have to know this person. You have to know they're not gonna say nothing. You have to know, like, you have to be able to trust this person. So it would be like, I would say just pick somebody that you really trust, like, that you know won't say a thing. Like, it could be somebody from your family or one of your friends, like I said, a pastor, just somebody that you really trust.
I like that. So, like, for you, because you said, like, you dealt with depression and things like that. So what was, like, some of the methods that you did to help you deal with it. Like, and it's like I said, like, this is transparent. Like, hey, this is transparency. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I see the smirk on your face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are real situations, and real people deal with these things. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like I said, man, this is your voice. At the end of the day, this is your story. You know what I mean? So like, how have you been able to deal with it? Because like, for example, for me, I deal with it with music. I deal with it with sleep. I deal with it work. I'll tell you this, for example, I'll be honest, like when I was younger, the way I used to deal with it was I would mess with females.
Mm-hmm.
That was how I would try to hide, you know what I mean? And it was bad because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use these females, you know what I mean? And that would start hide my own hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it's like I don't even care about this girl, like she's not anything for me, but I'm hurt right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's almost like football, like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with this girl because it makes me feel better at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or people, like I said, they drink because they're hurt. They smoke because they're hurting. Some people fight, right?
Yeah.
I know people that literally want to fight, like to this day, like grown men, like, you know what I mean? Like when they're feeling some type of way, they still can't express themselves, so they want to fight. They want to try to like knock somebody out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as I said, there's nothing. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't want you to feel like the way I deal with it is wrong, or there's no right or wrong. It's just your way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Obviously, of course, there's other ways you can deal with it. Could I did a better job than with females, dealing with females? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course. And I knew it wasn't healthy for me, but it took time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it takes time to grow.
So it takes time to grow. You know what I mean? So now for me, music, you know what I mean? I don't work out as much as I was, but workout was actually kind of helping me. But music's a big one, and sleep. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's a big one. And I realize too when I'm in a funky mood, even when I'm in an upset mood, someone's made me mad. I realize for me, honestly, it might sound cheesy, but like uplifting music, like literally just be like having me in a better mood. Like doesn't matter what it is, I'm just in a way better mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, because before I would listen to the music that would have me turned up, and so like now I'm getting more mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. So sorry, I did all that just to say, like, so what is some different methods for you that helps you deal with depression?
Different methods for me is music.
Mm-hmm.
I like listening to music a lot, or even just writing stuff down.
Right.
Different things, or like I think about like what I'm going through, and I'll just like write it down what I'm going through, and to make a song about that. If that makes sense. Like say I'm going through anxiety, I write a song about anxiety or something.
Yeah.
Or a different method for me, playing basketball, because that just like gives me like you said, like it just blows off some steam. Like if I'm mad, sad, like I just like playing basketball. So that's another method. Talking to you, one of my other cousins, or my brother, just different things like that.
That's good, man. That's good. Those are excellent things. So what would you tell someone in that is like I said, for me I had to learn, but for those like I said, I'm gonna be honest. Like I met people that dealt with depression and they cut themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I tell people that deal with depression that they smoke, right? That they drink, that they do other drugs. Like what would you tell someone that's using that to cope with their depression? Especially because like a lot of this is obviously too, like especially in high school. Yeah. Right? This is a lot of stuff they do because they're like, I can't talk to my parents, right? Or I feel like I can't talk to no one. So you know what? I'm gonna just get messed up. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna get super faded.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be honest. You know what I mean? Like,
honestly.
get faded. I mean, I know people close to me that, and it doesn't make them a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how they cope with it. Because me personally, I don't think if you smoke or you drink, it makes you a bad person. It's all about moderation.
Yeah, what you do.
You know what I mean? So like, but when you're hurt, right, moderation's out the window.
Yeah.
Because you're hurting.
Yeah, you do anything you can to make yourself feel better.
You know
no matter how much, what it is, what the amount is, like, you do anything to make yourself feel better, really.
And because like, that's the thing too, right? So when you do that, that pain doesn't go away.
Yeah, for sure it doesn't. Like, it's temporary. Like, if you smoke, like, it feels good at the time, of course.
Yeah.
But like, after like you're done, like you said, after you're done, like that high dies down, you still have those problems at the end of the day. It's just something like that helps you cope with it, really. That it's just really something that helps you cope with it, kind of. But at the same time, not really, because when you're not high, you're depressed. So all you want to do is be high. So it's like.
So that's what you just constantly doing to try to mask that pain.
Yeah.
I like that. That's true. And like I said, I know someone that literally, we had a deep conversation. She literally has to smoke because her anxiety's that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, I understand. That's why I said, like, for me, I'm the last person to be like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Because at the end of the day, we all have our own story. We all have our reasonings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just more so, like what you said, like, trying to not use it to constantly hide your pain, because that pain's going to be there.
Yeah, no matter what.
And then depend on, let's say, how much you drink, or let's say whatever you smoke. Let's say like that batch you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of got you on a trip where it increased your depression.
Yeah,
you know
that's true.
So now you tripping out. Now you even more hurt. You're like, man, I don't know.
Or like even the effects of smoking or drinking, like it's different effects. So it could be masking one thing, but then creating a whole nother different problem that you don't even know until it's too late, or that you don't even know about.
No, that's true, man. So I mean, I guess I should ask them, what do you, because you can relate, you understand, you've been through it. So do you try to do your part, right? And I hope other people do the same. Do you try to do your part as far as like reaching out to people that you know might deal with it? Do you like maybe hit them with a text, call them, or let them know, hey, this is a safe zone? You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you hit me, you know I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm judging you for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so like, but do you, because I feel like a lot of times we don't do that ourselves, right? We don't make it where we let people close to us know, hey, if you're hurting, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So do you try to do that?
Yeah, for sure. I have like a group of friends. Like, I have like a lot of friends, but I have like a small circle of friends that's like that. Like my friend Garrison, like we talk throughout like almost every day, like about different things, different situations, just to and like when one of us are sad or mad or something, like we'll hit each other up, like, and just talk, literally just talk, and just get through it with each other, really. Yeah.
I like that, man. I like that. What is one thing, someone that's watching or listening that's in high school right now, what is one thing you could say to them that is feeling lost right now? What is something, I guess, like some encouragement that you can just bring to them as they're trying to figure out how to deal with this?
One thing I can say is you can get through it. You just need a little help. Ask for help if you need it. And trouble and pain don't last a long time, really. You just have to figure out how to cope with it, get through it. And like I said, ask for help. And then once you ask for help, not just one person either. If one person says no, like, or they're too busy to help you, go to the next person. Like, there's so many people on the earth that you could just ask. You could just ask for help.
I like that, man. And as we close out too, I just want to let you guys know, if you're watching on the YouTube, I'm gonna make sure that I put information out there that's really dealing. If anyone's really dealing with depression and anxiety, I'm gonna give the links and phone numbers for you guys so you guys can reach out, get the help that you need if it's something that you're really dealing with it by yourself. And like I tell everyone, reach out. I have no problem. You can reach out to me even if we barely talk or haven't talked at all. I just want you guys to all win in life, man. So, and I don't want depression or anxiety to rob you from that. But I appreciate you, Jay, once again coming again.
It was great.
You could plug in your Snap if you want again, just for the people.
JAELON. That's it. Just on Snapchat. Just hit @friend. That's it.
Yeah, man. And obviously subscribe to the podcast, to the YouTube. Follow on Instagram, A Dreamer's Ambition. And I appreciate you guys, man. And just remember these 3 things. Remember to instill hope, to have faith, and to dream big. I appreciate y'all.
But I'm God's child, so I'm like, I'm trying to feel it, okay? Come and take my pain away.